I fell for the boss bitch, I could do everything by myself, that hyper independent bullshit. And I'm 31 now, and I still don't have kids. I still don't have a family. I was focused on trying to get after the bag and all this. What? I'm in a place now in my life where I'm reevaluating everything. My values, my perspectives, what I really want in the future. And what I really want is a family.
The woman should have asked herself these questions 10 years prior to making that video. But that is the smallest consequence from having the wrong philosophical beliefs about the world, about yourself, about how you should live in society. Hi, my name is Alice Bartlett, and in this video, I am going to talk about what is philosophy, why we need it, why the people of today are so lost and confused, and why our Western world is going in flame. So what is philosophy? Philosophy is a system of beliefs about how the world works and how men exist within it. Every human being on Earth has this system of beliefs, regardless of whether it was consciously built and carefully constructed from observations of the world, logical reasoning, or rational convictions, or it is a lump full of undefined concepts, unstated thoughts, unarticulated opinions, taken from outside influences such as social groups and political affiliations. Without these, the holder of these ideas even knowing why or how they have come to believe a certain idea. In fact, most people's system of philosophy falls in between absolute clarity of mind and murky, confusing, contradictory ideas. Dare I say, most people's systems falls closer to the end of the murky thoughts. Rarely can you see a man that can declare I know rather than I think. Not because of his own arrogance, but because his idea has been examined over and over using facts and reality to the point where he can declare with confidence that his idea is right. What people are debating in our culture today and what divides us so deeply, and that it seems irreconcilable, are things like politics and economics. For example, people are debating questions such as, is capitalism good or bad? Should the government borrow and spend a lot of money? Or should we regulate speech? And is it acceptable to have vague laws such as hate crimes? Or it can be as simple as, are men different from women? These are all important philosophical questions belonging to different branches of philosophy, but all of them are secondary, meaning that the answers to these questions will only come after you have answered more fundamental questions such as, what is the nature of man's existence? What is needed to sustain his life? How are these sustenance made? And therefore, how should men live in a society together? Without addressing these more fundamental questions, you will never be able to uproot an opposition's beliefs about politics or economics, and the divide will continue. Most people also take whatever is given to them at face value when it comes to philosophy. There are two main comprehensive and developed systems available to a young person in today's world. One is religion. Most people are born into a religion and will stay in it their whole life. The other is socialism. Young people in most universities today are being taught that production and profit is evil, and the measure of a person's value is how much self-sacrifice they can do. They are being taught that the Western world is evil and its richness and power have come from nothing but the oppression of other people in the world, all of which are premises of socialism. Unfortunately, the alternatives to these systems are not prevalent enough in our culture, or it requires conscious examination of thoughts, which many people are not prepared or not bothered to do. So why do we need philosophy? We need philosophy because it is inescapable that depending on what system of beliefs you hold, whether it was well examined or it's just a bunch of confused mess of ideas, you will pay the consequences or receiving rewards for having such a system. If your beliefs are false and contradictory to reality, what you might have to pay can be your own personal happiness being given up on and never achieved on earth, or it can be the full destruction of your culture and your society can be perpetually engulfed in things like war, conflicts, poverty, and misery. For example, if you subscribe to the wrong school of thoughts or believing in ideas without evaluating its validity against reality, you might end up making the wrong decisions and spending your time, your precious finite time, doing the wrong things that will never lead you to happiness. For example, any young woman at the start of her life should answer the following question for herself. Do women need men? Where do I, as a woman, derive the most happiness? What do I want out of life? And what are the steps that I need to do to get there? Because the consequences of not doing so and blindly believing in certain school of thoughts because it is popular can be detrimental. If a woman believes in feminism to the point that she sees men as her enemies, men, the protector of the world, the people who we were born to be with, to form families with, are seen as our enemies, how on earth can a woman achieve happiness? Well, let's have a look at some examples.
I fell for the boss bitch, I could do everything by myself, that hyper independent bullshit. And I'm 31 now, and I still don't have kids. I still don't have a family. I was focused on trying to get after the bag and all this. What? I'm in a place now in my life where I'm reevaluating everything. My values, my perspectives, what I really want in the future. And what I really want is a family. I feel like social media or just everything around us, society in general, wants to push that the woman is the future. No, the family is the future.
Well, that is just sad. The woman should have asked herself these questions 10 years prior to making that video. But that is the smallest consequence from having the wrong philosophical beliefs about the world, about yourself, about how you should live in society. The larger scale consequences are mayhem and the destruction of your culture and your society, and the injustice and misery that will follow from it. Let's have a look at some more examples.
Y'all want to see a dead body? No, I'm lying. It's East Oakland.
So this is Oakland in California, the United States, the richest country on earth.
Lying. It's East Oakland. Oh, no, this is just 85th Ave in East Oakland. And this is part. This is just like maybe 10% of the homeless encampment that's in, that inhabits 85th Avenue. This is another Mercedes. This is the second Mercedes I've seen on 85th. This one has Texas plates. So I don't know how I got here from Texas. Baby, I don't know. But if you're looking for it, here you go. I don't know what that is on the sidewalk, but it got a license plate on it. So I'm not too sure about that one. This is another part of 85th. This is like at the other end of the block. Same shit. And then somebody just... Y'all want to...
Isn't it painful to see the US in this situation? The US, the land of the free, where all opportunities are open to you and where nothing should matter except for your ingenuity and your hard work. The richest country in human history being turned into a wasteland. You got to wonder what has led to this, and I guarantee you it was caused by political or cultural beliefs that stems from a certain school of thoughts, in other words, philosophy. I can give you endless examples, but here is another one.
What is worth more, art or life? Is it worth more than food? Worth more than justice? Are you more concerned about the protection of a painting or the protection of our planet and people? The cost of living crisis is part of the cost of oil crisis. Fuel.
Do you think that these students or young people actually sit down and really think about whether the climate change is a climate crisis? And if yes, how can it be solved? Because throwing soup on a painting does not solve any problem or add any value to anyone's life. So what makes them act so irrationally and so erratically? What's happening here is that these people have aligned their identity and their self-worth to their political cause, and therefore nothing can make them see facts and reasons except for a full examination of their political and philosophical beliefs. And here's another one.
And now to a major retail theft bust in Manhattan. The DA says the thieves stole more than $1 million worth of items, hitting stores like Macy's and Walgreens and CVS, and then flipping those products for cash.
So this $1 million bust happened right here in Midtown Manhattan at a business that was stealing from its neighbors. And although a number of chain stores have already abandoned this neighborhood completely, experts say more store closures are on the way.
Exclusive surveillance video shows masked men rush in wearing construction vests and safari hats and ransack the place.
We've all seen the videos of flash mobs and smash and grabs targeting popular chain stores. Now police say some of those thefts could be fueling organized retail crime.
There were so many stolen items seized in a Midtown store that it took 450 boxes to cart them away.
Designer purses, electronic devices, medications, Lego sets.
Shoplifting on a large scale has become a national crisis, costing retailers over $112 billion in losses last year.
We're talking about 8 New Yorkers arrested in just a week's span. So what is going on here?
More police presence in the neighborhood would actually help, but you don't see them driving around. There's no one.
They come here, they steal. They're hurting the neighborhood.
The New York DA said today that more than $200,000 from that $1 million bust were goods that were stolen from Macy's alone.
So people are starting to notice that New York City has an empty storefront problem, and it's growing. But nobody's talking about desolate shopping wastelands like what you see right here. These are the new normal all over town because stores are leaving and they're not coming back. And what's crazy is New York's leaders have no idea why this is happening, even though all these stores started leaving soon after laws were passed that protected shoplifters, who can now steal under $1,000 without fear of going to jail. And the results of this progressive justice experiment, they're all around us, not just in these empty storefronts, but also in the stores that remain, where pretty much everything's locked up, from toothpaste to ice cream to underwear, because if it's on a shelf, it's a target for thieves who are
So what has led to this situation in New York City is the fundamental and philosophical belief held by many judges and politicians and the people who elected them that the system that exists, capitalism, is inherently evil and unjust, that has failed these people, and therefore they should not be punished and treated like criminals for stealing. Property rights are now second to human rights, which consist of people receiving free things that they did not produce, they did not make into existence, things that required the effort of others. This is the belief that it is my right to steal from you just because you have more, because the whole system is rigged and the laws should protect me, the thief, from you, the property owner. That is just one example of a philosophical belief being translated into concrete reality, and you can see the sufferings that are the result of that belief. So think about, if the majority of the people in the society comes to see that people are being rewarded for victimhood and are being punished for their strength, ingenuity, and integrity, how long can that society be expected to last? So to save our culture and our world, the Western world, the beacon of hope, the product of rational thoughts that has enabled never seen before wealth, prosperity, and human flourishing, we must fight back. We cannot let it go. But this is the battle of ideas. It can only be fought with other ideas. The battleground is in the mind of each young person. That is what this channel is dedicated to do, to analyze, debate, and discuss different ideas rationally and logically, so that the beacon of light that is the Western world and its purpose, which is human happiness, will not go out. If you like the idea of the channel, please subscribe, share this video, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Until the next video, stay rational.